Yeah, welcome in with us. It's just me for now. Benton Burge here with Northwest Georgia Football. We're going to talk a little bit of everything. We'll talk back and forth with the crowd. We're going to talk about the draft team challenge that Northwest Georgia Football does every year on his website. I'll send you the link a little bit later on in the comments. You can draft your own team and see how you do against quote unquote experts. Um, we're going to talk about a few games, cross state games, maybe preseason games. If you have a preseason game scheduled, post it in the comments here and we'll call it out. And we'll talk about a little bit of everything. Yeah, I agree, Jake. You know, most everybody's heard about the situation in Carrollton. Um, Man, it's tough. Uh, just send prayers out for the community and everybody involved in that. And it's about it's tough to even speak on it really because it's a difficult situation for a lot of people. Oh, anyway, first and foremost, this week I believe it was maybe last week we announced the champion of the bracket challenge for stadiums, and the winner. The fans voted on Facebook and Twitter, and the number one stadium is Tiger Stadium in Ringgold. Um, they have they've been on the Northwest Georgia Twitter page for a few different things. The most positive, obviously, is winning that championship, and man, something totally crazy I seen come across today, and I'm sure it was either Lawrence or one of the other guys, but the longest streak of not winning region championship is Ringo. That just that's unbelievable to me. Um, I saw that and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Uh, Something like 90 years without a region title. That just blows my mind because normally when you think of Ringo, you think of a team that's right there in the running for it. I guess not winning it, but in the running for it. Right behind them is White County Warriors, 66 years now. Union County with 51 years, and then you know right here at home, the Chattooga Indians, been 50 years since they've won a region title. Coosa Eagles tied for fifth with Dade County, been 49 years. Gordon Lee sitting there at 46 years. Some of these teams, it's hard to believe that are on this top 20 list. Northwest Whitfield's in the top 20. Lafayette's right there. Temple's in the top 20. Interesting information. Region title droughts. I'm sure that is courtesy of Brooks Carter Media. And anytime you see stats and stuff, normally it's coming from either Brooks Carter or one of the other guys. I am more of a talk about it thing. And Jake Keller says that contest was hacked by Russian collusion. Well, I mean, um, I voted. I'm not going to say who I voted for, but I'll say I did not vote for Ringo to win the stadium title. Not that I don't like Ringo Stadium because I really do. It's really nice. Um, I feel like some of the stadiums aren't created equal because you have stadiums out there that don't have tracks, and man, it's so much better for watching football when your stadium is straight up and down and you're right on the field. Um, a la, like Trine or Bremen, something like that. I'm sure there's a bunch of stadiums I ain't never been to in our area that are really nice. And are you looking, Eric? You talking about It's on the Twitter. It'll be on the Northwest Georgia Football Twitter. It is on there pretty close to the top of the Twitter page. You'll find the graphic about the region title, winless streak. All righty, I'm going to go ahead and pull up and show you guys exactly how to do this draft challenge. Basically, you have all the teams from our area, and they're assigned points. Each year, you get a total of 20 points. If you pick a team like Bowden, that's the defending state champion, they're going to cost you 12 points. You pick a team like Calhoun, they're going to cost you 8 points. Rome, 9 points. Cedartown, 8 points. You know, the scale is kind of up and down. You get down here toward the bottom, the 5 points, you have teams like Darlington, Dalton, Gilmer. What you're doing is you want to take your 20 points and you want to pick teams to compile the most wins in this next season, including the postseason. So that's huge. So you might want to spend more to get more. You know, if you think a team like Calhoun at 8, which looks like a steal to me, is going to go 5 rounds deep like they did last year, get 5 wins in the playoffs, there you go. That's a lot of points. Or if you think a team like Ringo, sitting here at 6, is going to break their long streak, win the region, get into the playoffs, win some games in the playoffs, you could have a lot of wins there. So all you do is just go to the page here, and I'm going to copy in the link, and you can just do your own thing. See how you stack up. All righty. Go ahead and get that out of the way. Eric says on Friday nights he'll be covering Cartersville, Cass, and Daresville, Woodland, and Excel Christian. So that'll be good. That'll be get a bunch of information about their football games. Let's see here. I know a few games coming up in the preseason. We talked before. Bremen is hosting Rockmart on the 1st. I think the 8th, which is when it really starts firing up. I think Trine is at Heard County, if I'm not mistaken. Chattooga will be at home against Norville. Did see some other dates, but nothing's jumping out at me right now. Calhoun looking to repeat as champs and region champs and state champs. So they got a lot of size, you say, huh? Great size for 3A. Well, they tend to have it, and they got young kids too that are coming back that played significant time at skill and a couple of size guys. I think they're going to be tough to handle going forward. And it seemed like people doubted them last year. I mean, I'll be the first to tell you that I don't think any of our guys had them winning the title, and they just proved us wrong. I don't know if they used any of that. I doubt it. They don't have to worry about what we say. They don't care. But it was a huge season for them. I think there's another one coming. Not going to be overlooked this time for sure. We did some region previews. I don't think anybody in the region is going to pose a huge threat to them. There'll be some games now. Don't get me wrong. There'll be some games, but I think Calhoun can get it done. All righty. Looking down through here, I was correct. Heard County scrimmage the Trine scrimmage. It says yes, it is an away game at Heard County. Kahula Creek, which is Brooks' school, looks like it looks like a three-way scrimmage with Model and Lafayette on 8-1. So that'll be good. And then that looks like another preseason scrimmage there against GC on 8-8. So they're going to get two. That must have been one of those teams that did not do anything as far as games like that in the spring. So they'll get two fall games. So that'll be huge. They'll have two games really against three different types of competition between Lafayette, Model, and Gordon Central there. All right, going on down the list here. One thing we did, uh, let's see here. Here's your region. Sorry, I got a lot of stuff popping up on here. Yeah, a lot of teams, 55 teams in our area here, and most of them are 3A and below. Some of them up above that. Most of them in the Northwest Georgia area. Some are in the mountains in North Georgia. I guess you'd consider North Georgia. A few games that I had posted that were crossover games this year between Georgia and Alabama. I know Central is going to Alabama. There's a few others that are going over there to play some Alabama teams. Ton of teams here. Let's see here. All right. August 21st, Moody, Alabama will be at Gainesville. That should be a big time matchup for both teams. Central Carroll will go to Oxford, and that looks like that's August 22nd. Cottonwood, Florida. I'm not sure where that's at. It'll be at Randolph Clay. Let's see. Any other teams in our area playing? Of course, the big schools that are out of our area, like Milton, they'll play a couple different schools. They're playing the First Academy out of Orlando. That'll be a large matchup there. Uh, Eric says Adairsville and Cartersville on the 8th. I believe we talked about that one a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see how Adairsville replaces the loss of players that they graduated from last year. Obviously, there's still talent there, but they got some production to make up for. Uh, Jake Keller says the rumors down at Carrollton there are two quarterbacks that are pretty good. A senior transfer with D1 offers, big kid, true pocket passer, and then the freshman with multiple D1 offers. they say can spin it, which doesn't surprise me one bit. I'm sure that that whichever one they go with, they'll be ready to go. And if not, I mean, they have the other one that they can lean on. Heard County welcoming Murphy, North Carolina in a revenge game. Is that week one or is that preseason? I can't remember what it was last year. Was it preseason last year? I know it was a fairly close game up there in Murphy, so Murphy will take the trip down to Heard County. There's another big one. Parker, Alabama's at Carrollton. Bowden plays Booker T. Washington from Alabama, week 3. So there's definitely some matchups across state that are interesting. I still think that Moody Gainesville could be really good. Uh, Guys asking, what does Rockmart have coming back? I tell you what, Rockmart has a lot coming back. Plenty enough, I think, to win that region. I think you were going to see them improve some. I think I wouldn't be surprised if they dominate the region and they go, you know, multiple rounds deep in the playoffs there in that division. Chris Hiley says Fannin Gilmer will be a good game. Um, yeah, I mean, not too far apart, Fannin and Gilmer over there. Fannin replacing a good bit of their production as well, and I got no reason to believe there's going to be any kind of big fall off at Fannin. Fannin's going to have the line of scrimmage. They're going to find skill players. They'll put in some young guys and they'll be impressive. Um, Maybe not immediately, but I guarantee you by the time region comes, we're going to be talking about Fannin as one of those teams to beat. And we talked about them in the preseason already. Um, Even though they're coming, not bringing back as much as some of the other teams or as much of their production back. Most people have them either at 1 or 2 in this region. And, that's just so a feather in the cap for the program, the head coach, and then that's just what you expect from Fannin County. Carrollton plays at Rome and Gainesville. The highest paid coach in Georgia plays the second and third highest paid coaches. Yeah, yeah, it's a hard knock life. I can tell you that Rome's going to be good. Gainesville, they're going to be good as well, and interested to see how Rome moves forward. I think Rome is in a good place. I've seen some of the big man talent at Rome, and it's just, of course, you need it when you get in that size. I think and I mention them all the time. I know they're not in our area, but we talk about them all the time. Thomas County Central, they've kind of been the bugaboo lately for Rome, and there were some projections, and I don't even want to say the word playoffs before the season even starts. But that those teams could meet again, in maybe the second or third round, and it was a slobber knocker last time, and I just think that if you see that again, it's going to be a great one. You see that one pop up on the schedule, you might want to get down there to wherever that game's at and watch it. All righty. If you're hearing us, tell us about your favorite team. Talk about any of the preseason games that y'all have going on. I mean, really, you can talk about anything about your team coming up. I see a few things here from Coach Brewer from Central. Jonas Walton, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is a Notre Dame commit. 600-pound squat, just ridiculous. And also Zaylen Person, I think I'm saying that right. Another running back of theirs with a 455-pound squat, a little bit younger. I'm saying right there, looking good. Um, while we're calling it out right here, Cameron Collins, I see from Woodland down there for Coach Andy Scott, lifting tons of weight, moving it around. Coach Andy Scott, super nice guy. Interviewed him when he was at Lafayette, and was gracious to have him on. And you know, it just seems like Woodland just gets better and better, and improves every year. And I know Coach Scott and them working hard to get things done down there at Woodland. All right, let's see here. Um, we talked about Fannin earlier. The other team that keeps being mentioned at the top of that region is Gordon Lee. Gordon Lee is one of those teams that unfortunately was on that uh, um, top 20 list of teams as far as years it's been since you won the region. This probably, I don't know how good their chances were in the past, but of recent years, this probably is their best chance. No disrespect to Fannin or any of the other teams in there that want to stake their claim on it. I just feel like they have a lot coming back. Quarterback, some skill out at wide receiver, Peyton Gross, which is a sub 4.4 guy. Um, Man, when you have something like that and he can get outside, that's going to be tough to stop. Uh, I know there's teams that wish they had somebody that would move it 4-4, but also seen something earlier from a coach on the internet, and tell me what you think about this. But it said 4.7 is fast in high school, and I tend to agree with that. I think most high school running backs are going to be between 4.5 and 4.7. When you get on the elite status, you might get up there under 4.4, 4.3, whatever. But, I would say those are unicorns. Jake, uh, played a little Mo, huh? A few months back. They recently had new owners. The previous owners were doing a heck of a lot of work with it, and the new owners are working hard too. Um, Fun course. You can drive almost every green. There's a good bit of water out there that can hurt you, and you can play it quick. Yeah, they're continuously working on the course. Fannin has a lot of young boys, but they still have Coach Cheatham's son that won state and track. Yeah, I mean, it seems like the same last names. You you just keep hearing come back and over, and it's just a different kid, either a little brother or a cousin or something. But that community I just mold football players. They're tough. A lot of times, they have the big kids. I don't know. People call it the mountain boys, whatever. But and the coaching is there. And as long as Coach Cheatham's there, I don't honestly max effort. I mean, he could have a subpar athletic team and get more out of it. I think that's when coaching kicks in. Not saying that he does have a subpar athletic team. I'm just saying. Anyway, um, well, I was just going to get on here and chat about a few things. What we got here? Yeah, 4.3 and 4.4. That's game breakers. One of the mean, I played 1 or 2 years with Sonoris Perry at Chattooga, and he was one of the fastest I ever seen. Um, I don't know officially what he ran, but I've heard stories about 4.25, 4.23, different things like that. Uh, Tough. Yeah. Normally I don't talk transfers, but it is in the public, Jake, and you are correct. Um, One of Gordon Lee's skill players at wide receiver. Um, I'm sorry that his name has escaped me. I did see it online though, so give me a second. I'll let you know. Looks like his name is Braden Stoker, and yeah, that's obviously a name that rings a bell for anybody up here in this area. Kind of long, quick, move around. Looks like he is going to Heritage. Um, yeah, I seen it on there today. Jake, you're correct. Moving to Heritage, so the Generals will get a nice piece there. Don't know, don't know anything about it. Don't have any negative comments about it. Just hope that you know whatever's going on, that the kid has success going forward, and everybody's good with it. And it is awful late in the year with the with the season started in a few weeks, so he'll have to get acclimated to the new team and those type things. But I'm sure Gordon Lee hates to see him go, talent like that. But sometimes a change of scenery is best for the kids. So excited to see some young blood this year. Any team stand out to you this year? Are you talking like any young teams or young talent, or are you just meaning teams in general? Um, Now, young talent, I hear there is a young stud, or will be a stud, from what I've been told, running back at Bremen. And let's see, I've also heard, what was that other kid's name? Some other guys, some other younger guys. Eli Brock and Tavarius Brexley. I wrote their names down on last time. Um, I'd have to look them up and see who they play for. I apologize, but excessive talent. Well, uh, if you're going 4 stars and 5 stars, you would go to Carrollton. You would point that direction. I think Calhoun is going to have a ton of talent. Um, Cross the line, young skill. Um, Somebody that's kind of been under the radar lately. I think Darlington's going to have uh, some skill that's good enough. Miles Twyman is an athletic player. If they can get him out in the open, I know they'll be breaking in a new quarterback. It seems like Darlington always finds some athletes to get things done. And I hear a lot of good. Everything that I hear out of the Dragon Country down there at Pepperell is that they're going to be much improved. They feel like they got a shot at winning this region, and everybody's 0-0 right now. So uh, I can't say that they're not going to. Um, I think I did actually on the last episode because I didn't select them to win it. But other teams that kind of stand out. Let's see here in our area. We talked about Gross at Gordon Lee. Um, Man, I'm trying to think of the individuals or just team talent overall. I mean, obviously Bowden is as talented as they've been. A lot of people that I've heard. I feel like Bowden's going to be one of those teams that's going to be right there again, and this could possibly be with the best team they have. Christian Heritage, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I hear Christian Heritage has a young quarterback that can absolutely spin it, and it's going to be interesting to see. I'll see him at least once this year. Um, Mostly cover Chattooga games, so we'll be at Christian Heritage Chattooga will this year. So that'll be interesting to see. Um, they threw it around last year. Heard a bunch of people through the air. Uh, kind of had a bigger veteran quarterback. Now we're going to see how this younger guy's going to do. And from all I heard, he's going to be a really good player for Christian Heritage. Yeah, Jake. So it's official now, I guess. I haven't really kept up with that lately because it's really out of anybody's control. I know that. Thank you, GSA, GHSA for once. I've been one to. I'm not going to say complain, but I'm going to say not give compliments to the GHSA because of decisions they made. But I think there's always circumstances that maybe warrant, uh, a move. But just moving to be moving, I think it's just a bad thing. I know most people don't just move to be moved, but I think it's what's happened in college recently kind of sets a bad example. Uh, but I mean, if a kid has to move because their parent moves or this and that, there's nothing you can really do about it. Obviously, I'm not sure ultimately what the GHSA can do about it. I mean, they're better than the NCAA. At least most people don't go suing them, which I'm sure they've handled their fair share of lawsuits. All righty. Well, I've been on here about 35 minutes rambling, and uh, thanks to the few that did show up and chat with me. And I'm sure we'll be back after some of these fall scrimmages go down. Me and Lawrence will be out. Hopefully, we'll be out at Bremen on the 1st to see Bremen and Rockmart. And then I can give you a better example of some names to look for from that Rockmart team. And Mr. Morris, I'll give you a better example after that game, and I'll jot down some notes and we'll talk about those Rockmart Yellow Jackets. Until next time, guys.